Chapter 10.
Always be taking cover.
Not once again check the squad's loadout before saluting. Kill anything with more than 2 legs, you get me? The Retrieve Valuable Data mission had been selected, so Pandura could get some computer and radar experience. They had landed at Extraction, an actual landing pad near a supply depot. Knott began fortifying the location. First, a guard dog rover for Pandura, a resupply pod, a heavy machine gun emplacement, and then he placed an MD6 anti-personnel minefield over a loading ramp that was the only point of access to the landing pad. Knott hadn't covered that in the briefing, but the other two chiefs waited and noted the mines. They probably had seen this plan before. They all jumped off of the other side of the platform and began heading to the download station.
Get to the station, download the research database, and upload it to the Super Earth mainframe using the nearby satellite uplink station. 1. Activate terminal. 2. Use terminal to log into research database. 3. Use terminal to open data transfer slot. 4. Call down SSSD hard drive. 5. Insert SSSD hard drive into data transfer slot. 6. Use terminal to initiate emergency data backup. Database downloading takes 20 seconds to complete. 7. Use terminal to eject SSSD hard drive. 8. Collect the SSSD hard drive. 9. Transport SSSD hard drive to communications relay. 10. Place SSSD hard drive into communications relay data transfer slot. 11. Activate terminal. 12. Raise satellite dish on the tower. Raising the dish takes 25 seconds to complete. 13. Manually realign the satellite tower if needed. 14. Upload data to Super Earth mainframe. Database uploading takes 40 seconds to complete. 15. Use terminal to wipe sensitive by imputing an 11 directional long code.
What information are we uploading?
Knott replied, Probably super porn, formicopophilia. That's why we wiped the browser history at the end. There was a silent pause. Just kidding. It's part of a blueprint for a battle exosuit. Knott showed the completed suit on his datapad. On the way back to Extraction, they had Pandura activate the LiDAR station. Raven informed,
Normally when you have a LiDAR station you want to hit every POI since you already know where they are, rather than hunting them down.
The squad did so efficiently by splitting into 2 teams. Pandura took point and went with Raven this time. She did most of the shooting. Raven killed anything flanking her. The Terminids had a nasty tactic of burrowing underground and ambushing you from behind. Pandura netted a tidy sum of over 100 super credits. As they rendezvoused back to the extraction, Death called in a resupply next to the side of the landing pad. He said to the cadet,
Leave mine.
Everybody else took a resupply pack out of the hell pod. Knott pulled himself on top of the pod and then climbed up to the extraction site. As the rest of the squad followed his path, Knott called in extraction and put down more mines. He turned to Raven. 102.3, please. Bug patrols started approaching the team. Death said,
I got 10 credits, one of them makes it through.
Knott shook hands with Death, and Helmet bumped to solidify the bet. Pandura checked the radar to see a lot of red and piped in.
I got it for 250 super credits.
The squad was a bit shocked. Knott huffed and then held out his hand to shake. Easy money for one of us. Pandura shook on it and replied,
The only good bug is a dead bug. but bugs that kill themselves are the best.
You're now listening to 102.3 Helldive FM, where we spread nothing but democracy, and more democracy. This ain't your Crowley station.
It wasn't long afterward, Pandora found herself back in a hell pod with double her credits. Not stated his loss was his own fault. He would have won if he had used incendiary mines. She mentioned to Raven that she thought Knot would have been more of a sore loser given the amount of credits. Raven told her that Knot had over 25,000 super credits. That put things into a different perspective why he ran 2 trivial missions a day. Raven saluted and said,
Pro era, ruinender or rubra, libertas aut mortem.
Knot replied, Retribution is at hand. Let fury guide our weapons. Let vengeance be your song. Knot saluted, Be it by blade, bullet, or beam, let none survive your wrath. They dropped feet first into a trap where they were the bait. Knott's briefing included the combat location was an extraction point. Their formation would be on high ground southwest of the landing pad. There was some kind of shin-high greenhouses placed there. The medium level 3 eradication mission had been for maximum body count. Not that the last mission didn't have enough to shoot, but the eggs before didn't fight back. And that was her role in that operation. Worse off, she didn't get any kill counts for the eggs. Next was her first eradication mission. Pandora was expected to do the mission herself. The chiefs were just there to cover her flank. Pandora's turrets did almost all the work during the eradication. If this was a chess game, it would have been a queenside castling from the Terminids' viewpoint. They were fortified before the Terminids were ready. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start. Bullet storms entered insect foreheads as soon as they lifted out of the ground. The mission was more like waiting for the Terminids to volunteer their deaths to Pandora's quota. 8 samples and 1 Pelican 1 later, they began lifting away from the planet. Death noted Pandora had a kill count over 100, and that meant the only wetness behind her ears was Terminid blood. Knot had asked Pandora her full name. Then Raven had given her the call sign Angel, because her last name wasn't obvious enough of a reason, and divine beings on Earth were said to be created by parthenogenesis, just like Faunus, according to Knot. It was a dry jest at best, but one she liked, or at least could grow on. The name also felt like it belonged with the kind of names the rest of the squad had. Death asked,
Raven, play us some music, please.
Raven pressed a button, then adjusted the frequency selector inside his prosthetic arm.
Comical radio. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Comical radio. Bow, bow, bow.
Raven shouted.
Not that.
Raven adjusted the radio receiver.
Where we playeth nothing but chance, and more chance! This are not thine elder matriarch station.
exited the Pelican, and the lift ascended them to the typical fanfare. Death voiced reason.
That's more than quota for missions instead of 3. Let's all hit the bunk.
Not offered. Or you could run another trivial with me for the exercise. Raven shook his head and pointed to his fabricated limbs. Death, on the other hand, said,
I'll go with you. You can even watch my back. But you, Cadet Angel, get some rest. You're probably already sore and don't know it.
Angel wanted to go, especially if it meant another use of the jump pack. However, she knew Knot would be doing a warm-up run tomorrow morning. She could have her fun then. She needed to be resting so she could sleep sooner. After all, Helldivers kept their own hours.